Many buildings that you go to, they're buildings. They have wood, and they have brick, and they have metal, and they have steel, and they have windows, but you don't necessarily feel an energy within the room. In this shul, there's a certain soul that you feel. It's not just a building, it's not just a body, but you walk in and you feel an energy, you feel a presence, you feel what happens when walls absorb 100 years of people davening and connecting to God in this space. An important idea in Judaism is that holiness doesn't move from its space. Once we connect something with Kedusha, with holiness, it retains that holiness forever.
When I was born, we lived down the street from Orchard Street Shul. And then we moved to 10 Day Street, which is on the corner of Day and Scranton, which was 2 blocks from the shul. And the shul was magnificent. I loved it from the first time I walked into the shul.
Orchard Street Shul was the shul because Orchard Street Shul was absolutely packed. People were literally standing.
I used to go to White Street Shul.
Well, yeah, that was smaller.
Closer.
No, but Orchard Street Shul, that was the Mecca. It was very different than it is today. The Legion Avenue, Orchard Street, was mostly Jewish. We had meat markets, we had several bakeries, everything was kosher. And, like 3 o'clock when school was over, the street was lined with Jewish mothers waiting for the kinderlach to come out of school. And the shul itself, it was holy, there was respect, there was a feeling, it was love.
When Legion Avenue was being demolished, building by building, there were just big piles of bricks there. And these bricks had sentimental value to me, having come from buildings that I frequented as a boy, as a young boy. I tried to get bricks mostly from the bakery and the butcher shop that I frequented almost every day.
What does the synagogue symbolize to you today?
Now that's another story. That I have remembrances of my childhood, of my uncles sitting near me and around me, and aunts and mother upstairs sitting next to my father. So it has very fond memories, so fond they're in fact heart-wrenching sometimes when I sit there because I sensed their souls being nearby.
So do you see this synagogue as just something in the past?
It's divided into chapters. There was a chapter when I was, let's say, bar mitzvahed there, and that's gone. And now a new chapter is beginning. And they're different. They're not the same, but the shul is still the shul, and the soul of the shul is still the soul of the shul. I think that'll be forever and until its demise, and hopefully it'll be there forever.
Do you remember the first time that you were here, that you were, was it a Musaf on a Shabbos, that you led the services?
I want to say it was a Shabbos. It was probably Kabbalat Shabbat.
Sushi and shots.
It's probably sushi and shots. Yeah. And you just walk in and you feel the history of the building. It kind of takes you back decades.
In 2010, my wife Dina and I moved back here from Israel, and we met up with the then President Lee Lieberman, his wife, and a couple other people, and together we decided that we should try and hold Rosh Hashanah services. This would have been the first time in well over 15 years that there were services in the building for Rosh Hashanah. We really weren't sure what to expect, and much to our pleasant surprise, we had beautiful minyanim on the first day of Rosh Hashanah, the second day of Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and we decided then that we were going to start having monthly Shabbos services. We began a renovation project at the interior of the shul.
The shul had in the ceiling
Hey,
a hole. Every time it rained or snowed, it just came in. The ceiling was gone. The floors were gone. We raised almost $300,000. And it took all that money and we rebuilt it. New floors, new walls around, windows, everything had to be replaced. And it took a little time, but we finally did get that back in good, real nice shape the way it is now.
The renovation didn't connect me as much as the past. Being present in the past, you know? I could sit where my father sat and feel I was back home.
Why do you think we take such comfort in the past?
It's a good question. I think some of our strongest memories are from the past, and it takes a while to integrate the new experiences that you have. I won't appreciate this house as much until I move from it, you know? And the work and the energy expended in a house like this doesn't give me the fulfillment. But looking back at it 20 years from now, I will see it differently, I think.
You've told me a few times that you never want to see the inside of the shul touched, like you want to keep it in its pristine condition.
yes.
Why do you think it's so important for the next generation to see, you know, the shul the way it was?
Exactly.
Because they'll never see it again. Plain and simple. You come and see it now, it'll leave an imprint in your mind. They have never seen one before, and chances are they're not going to build any in the future. So when they come and they see this place, and with the beam up there, and the lights lit up, and the round thing, they just sit there and stare